Hey there, welcome to the Total Bitcoin Show, produced by the Total Connector. My name is Keyvan. Today is February 13th, 2020. It's Thursday. It's a lovely sunny day in Vienna, Austria. So let's cut to the chase, and I wanted to give you my, really authentic, honest, and constructive feedback about the testing and usage setup and connection and my whole experience with the Casa 2, which is this one. All right, let me show this to you in case you haven't never heard of it. Just check it out yourself. It's on keys.casa, and or just type in Casa Keymaster in Google. So what is the Casa 2? It's sort of the successor of the Casa 1. I never had a Casa 1. This is my first Casa. It arrived approximately a couple of days ago. So I picked it up, and I had this imagination or this expectation that I would take this thing home, perfect trade-off, when it comes to convenience, security, by default functions, operations, user friendliness, smooth interface, smooth user experience, user experience. So and what's so special about the Casa 2? It says here it's fast, lightning fast. The new Raspberry Pi 4 comes with a Raspberry Pi 4 with 4 gigabyte of RAM and a fast 1 terabyte SSD. Make running a full node faster and smoother than ever before. New sleek interface, exclusive Casa Node. Using Casa Node is easier than ever with our all-new Node OS plus dark mode. Do more with your Casa Node. And blah blah. So you can also earn Bitcoin or Satoshis and use Lightning from anywhere. Now possible with Sats app and Casa Node. So you can all integrate this and download the app, and supposed to be really smooth. So first of all, I want to say the Casa's team, and with the new project leaders or CEOs or whatever, they're doing a great job. With it be the previous Jeremy Welch or Nick Newman or Jameson Lopp, who I also had on my podcast show. So they're doing a tremendously, fantastic job, and we are still in the beginning of this whole, technological monetary evolution with Bitcoin and the different products and services. So yeah, I do have total understanding, total, respect for that. And by the way, the Casa 2, for different reasons, you can read that for yourself, it's not going to be sold in the very near future. For now, it is, I think it says here, sold out. And you get you can choose a membership plan, either gold or platinum or diamond, depending on, are you an enterprise individual? What kind of, wealth are we talking about? Digital wealth, Bitcoin. So you can check all those testimonials out, the description, the overview. Go on keys.casa / plan or whatever. You can find it all yourself. And so it got some multi-sig security, 24/7 support, which I'm going to talk about. And they're established since 2018. Multi-sig security, made livable, comprehensive security, full control, full service, and what have you. And of course, also in the case of Bitcoin inheritance, definitely a really essential part of multi-sig and transferring your wealth, and in case something happens to you or you die, so these things need to be taken care of. So the security, James Lopp, he does a great job in doing security reviews, keeping us up to date on new threats and vulnerabilities. It comes with a Trezor 1 yeah. All right, so what's my experience? So I got my Casa 2. I had the expectation that I would get that thing, plug it in, because it's supposed to be a plug and play. And because I'm not a techie, like most people, I'm not a techie, and I don't have the time, the energy, the nerves, to, dig deep like a nerdy geek into computer science or, I don't know, computer programming or command lines. So yeah, you can learn that. It's definitely, but for most people, I see myself as a measuring stick, and that's the reason I also purchased it. So to see for myself, what's the trade-off? How user-friendly is it? How smooth is it? How comfortable is it using it? What are the operations and the functions that are by default? And yeah, so I got myself the Casa. I read, first, of course, the instructions, everything that is necessary. I plugged it in, and now I gotta admit, okay, I had first, I believe so, I'm not even sure, I had in the initial phase that was, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, so I had my VPN on. So my tip to you, my advice to you, and they are also, Casa team also admitted that a lot of people having issues with Casa while running their VPN in the background. So I had my VPN on. Of course, it didn't make any connection whatsoever. And yeah, so you plug in your Casa, you wait, according to their own description, to Casa's description, wait at least 1 hour. So I waited at least 1 hour, 1.5 hours. And I had, everything clean, read instructions, everything else, everything was okay. Besides the VPN, of course. And that's why in the first instance, I didn't have any connection. So, okay. So I unplugged, I deactivated my VPN. I restarted everything, the node, and then after that I did a third, fourth, fifth test by which I still don't know, should have done it or not. But because my VPN was on, it created sort of a resetting of the node's internal IP address. Now, I also downloaded, according to their advice to Casa's team, the angryip.org scanner software. And I ran it up to now, I think, dozens and dozens of times. And everything works smoothly now. All right, I gotta, just to make this clear now, after, it took me approximately 30 or 36 hours, testing, waiting, and retesting, relaunching, rebooting, and then I even, restarted my router, my modem, or whatever you call it, my internet router. So essentially, I wrote a bunch of mails back and forth, waited, and I understand there's a time zone difference, but since they advertise it's a 24/7 support, so I'm not sure what the 24/7 support means. Does it mean like for the really higher paying clients, like enterprise clients? I'm not sure about that, but anyway, so it's okay, so I waited till next day, and again, I really love what they're doing. I love all of them. They're doing a great job and have, highest respect, but it's just supposed to be, this is meant to be as a constructive, well-meant, really authentic, as whatever it takes. I want to describe it as precise as possible, the whole procedure I went through. So essentially, yeah, so it was back and forth, and they told me, do the angry IP, do a scan. I told them I already did dozens of times. It doesn't show up. The internal IP address of my Casa node. It does not show up. All I see, a whole list of IP addresses. but let me just hold a second. So yeah, so I told him, you know, several times. I ran the scan, and even up to now, it does not show up the internal IP address of my Casa 2. Because all the IPs that are showing me, it's all red marked. It's supposed to be the Casa one. It's supposed to be blue, like a blue dot, and then it's supposed to say next to that host name something like Casa node local or something like that. But it never showed up. It still doesn't show up. So I don't know. Is it a problem with this? Is it a problem with the scanner, with the angryip.org as a software? Is it because it's blocking it somehow through my internet provider? I'm not a techie, so I don't know shit. All right. So, you know, and I'm creative. I mean, I unplugged it, I rebooted it, and then they told me, you know, do not, you know, I'm not supposed to restart. I did that maybe once or twice, you know, restart my internet router. So I stopped doing that with the router. So I just, the only thing then, after 36 hours, finally, I got it to work. First, I just made sure everything. I mean, I'm usually I'm usually all the time up to date with everything. You know, all the software. I'm like super paranoid. You know, it's like be a little bit more paranoid than usual. All right. So paranoid just means, you know, have a little bit more intuition than on average. So I updated everything. You know. The browser, every fucking browser I had, whether it be Chrome, Fox, Tor, and of course, in the very beginning, I didn't expect it to work on Tor. You know, I thought, okay, this is I'm just going to be happy if it just works on the Chrome browser or on the Fox browser. So I had all these incidents where it worked, didn't work, or it showed like a blue screen. Of Casa, you know, the dashboard, but just a Casa branding and the blue screen, but nothing else. And then there was this sort of a line, and it's sort of a 1 millimeter of loading, and then went back every time, you know, and especially every time I refreshed the page. So there was nothing. There was no real dashboard, which is the blue screen, but at least I was connected somehow to Casa. So, and that was, you know, already after like a whole day, 30 hours, and eventually after 30 hours or something, or more than 30 hours, I got it running, up and running. At least, you know, the dashboard, it was all there on Chrome, or even on Fox, it worked, but not on Tor. All right. So after I had, you know, updated everything, you know, every browser, just in case, you know, I even deactivated every ad blocker there was, and I already done that before, but it didn't work at that time. So I'm just saying, maybe it was a cumulative compilation of all the factors, of all the parameters of everything, maybe that, or maybe just that's what I don't know. I have two questions. Did Casa do anything in the background? Because I eventually at the end I did send them like a log file that I had downloaded. But that was like really already when it was up and running, the dashboard. Or did it really take, you know, more than just a couple of hours? Because they tell you, what Casa tells me is that, you know, wait at least 1 or 2 hours. But maybe you have to wait, you know, just in case, really, you know, the whole night. Just plug it in. Don't do anything else. Just plug it in. Have your VPN off, deactivated, which I find really unfortunate, because, I mean, what do you buy a VPN subscription for 2 or 3 years and now I can't use it? Because that's really fucked up. That really sucks. Now I can't use my VPN because whatever, it resets maybe the internal IP or every time, or it ascribes sort of a new IP maybe to the. So these are technical questions I cannot answer for myself or for you. But maybe you can answer them, or you can ask yourself to the support team. You know, ask the support team of Casa, or they're great people. You know, great technical team. They're really committed, ethical. they're up to date. They really super nice, super friendly, and they really try to help. But the thing I really wanted to urgently to have is a direct and really uncomplicated talk, like a direct talk via Zoom. Okay, I understood that maybe there was security issues with Zoom, with video call or something, but I told him, hey, listen, just call me up. I mean, but maybe it's real security issues. I'm not sure. But I would have talked to them via WhatsApp, Telegram, or phone. I would have called them with my Skype credits or whatever it was. But like, go with the average Joe and Mary out there who doesn't know shit about anything, and really guide them, instruct them step by step, go through all the technical eventualities and possibilities and adjustment and settings, and really go step by step, like you do, for example, with your internet provider or Microsoft or whatever, like a service provider. So, I mean, if they advertise, 24/7 support, which I still don't know, for whom, for what, is it just for enterprise? So I have to make sure what they're talking about. But that would, that would have saved me a lot of time, I think. And I even woke up in the middle of the night, made sure that I triple, and I don't know, a dozen of times I checked the cables, the connections, the connection to the router, the connection to the node, to the Casa node. I don't know how many times I rechecked and retested everything, and it all was fine, So was it the time that it needed to load up, to sync to whatever, the whole network, the protocol? I don't know. Did they have like technical issues? These are like totally intransparent things for me. Anyway, so after 36 hours, not years, after 30 or 36 hours, finally, yoo-hoo, hallelujah, or Eureka, finally I saw the dashboard, with all the functions and blah, blah. All right. And now, because I'm, super like prepared and everything, I had already downloaded and installed the apps, the Casa app and the Sats app. And so the first problem I ran into, first of all, it was a different password. So I, have to think about it. It's not the password that I used, or that I have for to log into the Casa node, right, on your dashboard, in your on your computer, laptop, whatever. So I had a different password. So okay, I got into my Sats app and my Casa app, and I went through the whole procedure of multisig, so you can integrate your your Trezor One that comes with it, right, and your mobile wallet, and so it's a 2 out of 3 multisig, right? So if you lose one of these keys, Casa is there for you. You can they're gonna help you out. They're gonna go through this process and make sure you have full access, total access again to your funds, to your wallet, to your node, and everything else. And of course, with the node, also when you're setting up, you write down the when you do the Keymaster and the whole multisig and stuff. So you write down the the 24 or 12 or 24 word mnemonic phrase for the Casa node, of course. Keep that place really safe and secure. And now the problem I ran into the Sats app is that you gotta go into your dashboard of your Casa node. Either you and then you open up your Sats app and photograph or take the image of the QR code, of the Sats app QR code. And before you do that, you make sure that the buttons for Tor enabled is all activated for all of them, right? And for the Lightning, and so it's all activated, and then takes a couple of minutes till it reconfigures or something. So it's not really easy, all right? So I cannot imagine right now that, I know there's, they admitted this whole the lightning and all the, that this whole thing is sort of a experimental. I don't know what they mean by experimental. What, some aspects, or do they mean just the lightning thing is the experimental phase? I get that, but I'm just saying that, educational wise, mentoring, coaching, or guiding people through this process, I think, I believe it really needs a little bit more, stepping up and really helping people, and guiding them through all the process, through the whole process, and asking them, did you do this? Did you do that? Go through this, go through that, and this back and forth of email and this, and you have to do a lot of self-study and test, and read a lot, and educate. Of course, it's good. It's all good. But I'm just saying it takes a lot of time and energy if all these things go wrong, or don't work simultaneously, right? So really, I was really pissed off, to be honest with you, and irritated. I thought, if I'm having, these kind of problems, and maybe I'm really the only one who's had all these problems, even though, like, cumulatively, like, simultaneously, I don't know what. Is it because of the network? Because I didn't wait maybe too long enough? Maybe I should have waited, the whole night, and just don't do anything. Don't even try to go into the dashboard, or you have this HTTP link, and I tried that on Chrome, on Fox, and of course it didn't work on Tor. So after I had set everything up, and then I had my Sats app, and I wanted to sort of get have the QR code with the Sats app taken, but it rejected it. It rejected the QR code, which was generated inside the dashboard of the Tor and Sats app, whatever. So, and then you can either have a QR code or copy and paste, or send that whatever link or code to yourself. So I did both of them first, didn't work. All right. So eventually, what I did, I deactivated the Tor enabled, waited a little bit, reactivated that again, and then restarted. And then I think I restarted the whole the Casa node again. And then finally I made it. I got to that point where I just either copy and pasted the link, which is generated, or given to you by your own Casa node on your dashboard, or I photographed the QR code with a Sats app. So finally it worked, and then I made this test, I made this test with the heartbeat, right? So you can get sort of a like 10 or 20,000 satoshis, earn sort of your satoshis by doing sort of a testing, like a network test, like a heartbeat, like everything is connected, your Casa node and your Sats app, Lightning. So yeah, it worked, and I got some satoshis. The heartbeat test was successful, and yeah, and now I'm pretty satisfied. I'm happy again, but it was really, really nervingly irritating. I spent the whole day and night, and until I got everything set up and running with the apps and everything. It took me at least 48 hours. All right, 48 hours. So yeah, so I'm sure it's this constructive feedback is taken seriously, and it's sort of integrated into their development and service, and I'm sure the team of Casa are gonna hopefully make some use of my constructive feedback. It's really well meant. I really love what they're doing. I really love what they've achieved with this more or less plug and play device hardware. So the only thing that I still I have to recondition myself, because instead of now when you buy some satoshis or Bitcoin, and usually you either if you're totally like paranoid or no, cautious, you're just cautious of your privacy, you do coin mixing, coin joining, whatever, and then send it to your hardware wallet or whatever, or then you spend it right away, or you should actually spend it maybe right away. So what I did now is I already did some tests. I sent myself some fraction of a Bitcoin, some satoshis, to my directly to my Casa receiving address on my dashboard from the exchange directly to the receiving address of my Casa node, and worked really fine, very smooth. Within within a minute or two, it was all it said unconfirmed first, and then it was all confirmed. So that worked. And then now the thing is, what I thought is that when you send yourself to your receiving address of your Casa node dashboard some satoshis, that it will show up, because you have this Casa app, right? And it shows like your balance also on your mobile app. So the thing I still don't understand, is it not synced? Are the balances not synced, or is it a different mobile wallet? Is it like separated? Because my logical thinking was, or my expectation was, that if I send myself some satoshis to the dashboard, to the receiving address of my Casa node, to my, on my laptop, I open up my dashboard, I see it, okay, it's unconfirmed and confirmed. And I thought, okay, but even after it was confirmed, I still didn't see it. It's still 0 on my mobile app. So either it's a separate thing, it's a separate wallet, or I don't know what went wrong. Or is it because I had, I don't know, because it's all connected. It's all connected. The multisig is up and running. The Keymaster is active. 2 of 3 multisig is activated. So, my expectation was that I thought, why isn't it synced? Why don't I see the same balance of receiving thing, transaction on my mobile Casa app? It doesn't show up. It's 0. So, nothing to worry about right now, seriously. But I wrote Casa an email, a bunch of emails actually, because I have different questions. First of all, why is it not synced? Can the users, do they have to deactivate the VPN forever? I can never use the VPN ever again, by using by having my Casa up and running, right? So I have to have it turned off. So they got to find some solution for this kind of thing. I'm not sure. So, or maybe it's not possible. I'm not sure. So it's really unfortunate, because, you have a subscription. I have a subscription for 2 or 3 years with VPN service provider. And now I can't use it. I mean, I can still use it on my mobile phone, sure. But I can't use it. That's the whole point, on my desktop, on my laptop, right? So there's a lot of details that are still not really smooth, not really, I don't understand it, it's not working, or I don't see it, like the balance, of dashboard and Casa thing, the VPN's issue, I still don't understand, because what do I have a VPN for, now what I'm going to do with the subscription? And besides, I thought, VPN is a privacy, because everybody's talking about privacy, and I'm sure the Casa team is totally concerned about privacy. So why cannot I, or the users in general, enhance our privacy by using VPN simultaneously at the same time? And of course, the other thing is, now I have to recondition myself. Maybe it's an emotional security thing, going on. I could leave. I could. You can send all your funds or whatever, your satoshis, your Bitcoin, to your Casa node, dashboard, to your, to your account, right, to your receiving address, and then. And you have in case you want to access it, and or you lose a key, and blah blah blah, and So you have multisig, right? 2 out of 3. But the thing is, for now, maybe I know it's this sort of a reconditioning thing. You have to sort of rethink the whole thing. So it would mean that I should or would only use my, for example, this Trezor that comes with it as your additional or as your alternative Keymaster, right? It's sort of one of the keys, right, to release funds or whatever, access funds or what have you. So yeah, it's a lot of education. If you have any kind of feedback from me, any kind of experience you have with your Casa, let me know. Let me know your questions. Maybe I can forward it, or you can ask yourself and direct your questions to the Casa team. But in general, I mean, yeah, since it's up and running and working, it's been a smooth process. It's up and running. You see, for privacy reasons, I don't want to show my dashboard. And what's really, really what I'm really happy about is that it's working now. The link that you take from your dashboard and then finally insert it into the Tor browser, and finally it worked after 48 hours, or at least 36 hours. I made it work. I put that link into the Tor browser and it opened up smooth, nicely. It opened up the dashboard, and now every time I want to open up my Casa dashboard, I go to my Tor. It's already stored and archived and bookmarked, and it's working now. I still have a bunch of questions, and there's quite a few details that need to be, I'm sure it's going to be fixed hopefully soon, or there's always some bugs which they admitted. There's always in this phase, really minor bugs, this and that, maybe even individually for different people, different problems. So I'm gonna also find out about, because Has McCook also has a Casa, and he loves also the ecosystems around it, which I also love. Do like a heartbeat test every on a regular basis, and you get some satoshis. So it's and you have your multisig, you have your Keymaster, you got your mobile, you got your Sats app, your Casa app, but there's some things that are not really smooth yet, and I don't see why. I don't understand why it's not syncing yet and all this stuff. All right, that's about it. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for giving me some feedback. If you can, give me some. If you have any questions, let me know. Like it, subscribe, share, follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Keyvan. And yeah, if you have any desires or wishes whom I should get on, I have a line of interviews lined up for the next couple of days and weeks. So hope to surprise you with some really good, high quality content, interviews, and within the Bitcoin space. All right, that's about it. Thank you so much. My name is Keyvan, the Total Connector, and I'll see you soon again. Bye.